Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Legion Talk, and this is my Twisters review. Now, it is smack dab in the middle of the opening weekend, and all I have to say is, what the hell did I just watch? I'm not going to bash on people who enjoyed the movie, who saw opening weekend, and it's had an awesome opening weekend thus far. There is there is only one Twister movie, and it came out in 1996. This is, I'll say this. This is the original Twister with different characters, slightly different situations, and a watered down story just vomited on the screen. No, I'm not joking. I am The original Twister is one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. Helen Hunt, Bill Paxton, incredible. Um, to this day, if I had the money to take a 1996 Dodge Ram, they used a couple of 1500s, couple of 2500s. V10s is where you got really the beefy sound from. I would turn that thing into that truck so fast and put a Dorothy in the back of it because I'm a huge nerd, but I digress. So we're gonna get into this from Good Housekeeping because Good Housekeeping, right? Does movies? Sure. The new Twisters movie honors late Twister star Bill Paxton with a surprise cameo. The long and the short of it is, published on from Entertainment Weekly, published on July 11th, Bill's son James Paxton revealed he makes a cameo. As for the reason behind it, he said it was a way of honoring his late father and the legacy of the film left on Bill's career. It's really a cameo. It's an Easter egg for fans and dad of the original. He told the outlet, "I did this one for dad." That's awesome. That is super awesome. I'm not going to bash on that one bit at all. Um, I don't know who Bill's son was in the movie, and I'll catch it on the replay on the the high seas. So this movie was something that my parents went and saw the original Twister. Um, on I believe no, it wasn't on their honeymoon. No, it was on their couple year in anniversary. Uh Even my dad said he was like, "It was alright, it was fine." Um, and there were some things that, again, he didn't understand, and this is somebody who doesn't understand what I do. My dad and I, my nephew and my sister's boyfriend, were, my nephew loved it. He said it slapped. He's never seen the original, as far as I know. Slapped means awesome. The CGI was not as good as the first. The CGI was not as good as the first. Um, the story was literally a if the original movie was an 8 out of 10, I mean, the story was top notch. 8 out of 10. This story was I'm gonna try to be objective. It was a 4 out of 10. I really want to say 3 out of 10 because it just ripped off so much from okay, so okay, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Let's get into the articles here. Um all right, here we go. From Business Insider. How is Twisters connected to the original 1996 movie? The cast calls it a standalone sequel, which means it has nothing to do with anything in the history of the world of the original movie ever, except for you ripped off so much stuff from the original movie. Oh, you see Dorothy. Yes. Dorothy. You see Dorothy literally within the first 20 minutes to pull you in as nostalgia bait. And it's just that because they're trying to not kill. They say not kill. They're trying to starve or I can't remember. So girlfriend over here, Helen Hunt, freaking stand-in, which Daisy Edgar Jones. It's not the actress's fault. She did fine. I thought the beginning of the movie, the first third was very boring. The middle act was the best part, and the end just humped the bunk so bad it was not even funny. So they bring in they're bringing Dorothy because this guy managed to scrap up an old Dorothy and do the same trick with the can little things and the little sensors to get their readings, and so they try to kill a twister using physics, which is fine. They use Dorothy to read the telemetry readings, because that was 30 almost 30 years ago. Whatever. Dorothy would not still work. I mean, they kind of nod to that because like one girl's like smacking on it, like this piece of shit. Well, Lee Isaac Chung's Twister stars Glenn Powell, who again did a great job. Both Daisy and Glenn had good chemistry. An influencer who chases storms. We've seen that from basically Discovery Channel's Storm Chasers, kind of the same thing. That's fine. And Kate Carter, a meteorologist who stopped chasing storms after a traumatic event. Her look. This is spoilers, so watch at your own risk. Her friends die, so she becomes basically she gets basically PTSD from that, and her friend brings her in. Well, the movie is a current day chapter of Twister. No, the fuck, it's not. There's oh, and look, they tried to pin these two is Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, and I saw that through and through. Did I hate it? No, because in the middle of the movie, they started to catch their legs, and she became unfrigid, and she opened up to his character. And then they did the girl boss who saves everything because she was awesome the whole entire time, but she just didn't know it. It it didn't. So this is a shot from the final scene. Instead of so these two, with the help of his data, his evil corporation's data, figured out how to kill a twister, kill a tornado. She runs off without the help of these two in his truck, which just earlier in the movie she had no idea how to operate. She was hitting buttons, and he literally clowns on her, and he's like, "It's like you've never been in a vehicle before or a car before." So she runs off in his giant dually, I'm assuming Cummins, turbo diesel, Dodge Ram, probably 2500, and she steals it to go end Twister and she successfully does it. That's the plot of the movie. Where I had a lot of problems with is that now this I don't know what this is, this top, but she spends the majority of the beginning of the movie in a white top, similar to Helen Hunt's wife beater tank top. She also wears a jumpsuit similar to Helen Hunt. This is not the one, but she comes out in one that is the same color. She has the jumpsuit basically tied the arms tied around her waist, and it's the same color. It's Helen Hunt 2.0. Also Helen Hunt's not in this movie. Uh I can't do I don't want to do this. Uh I hated this movie. I was very indifferent in the beginning, and even the previews kind of looked like something that I was like, all right, we might give it a shot. I was kind of excited. The first third is is boring. There's minimal character development. It is literally like it is caricatures of people. She is the recluse girl who's had, a traumatic event. She just hides away. She can't. Then of course, Glenn Powell's character is like he's like he's like the douchey frat boy. Um, but it carries on too long. But it finally culminates in the middle of the movie, the second act, where they open up and find, and this is directing and storytelling. This is not the actors, by the way, where they find themselves and they finally are come together. And Glenn Powell's character realizes she's the girl who lost three friends during a massive storm chasing debacle, and that he had he tries to help her, and he's like, how long are you going to let this thing debilitate you, basically, hurt your life? How long are you going to let this thing, and so, eh, overnight, which I was kind of fine with, she decides to shift. She's like, I think we can do this, because Glenn Powell's character says, well, because she shuns him and he goes to leave in the morning, and she stands in the rain, and she knocks on the window, and he's like, all right. He's like, let's do this. You want my help? Because again, they're falling in love with each other. Um, so that being said, Twisters may become the biggest disaster film opening ever. Yes, because you and let me say this front and center. You piggybacked off the original Twister movie, which was a massive success. And if you calculated the opening weekend for the original Twister movie in today's world, this would have skunked that times four. Four. Like, this is not even a conversation. The hell are you talking about? But they're not adjusting for inflation, because again, in 1996, the price of a ticket for a premium event, not a matinee, a premium event, was probably somewhere in the neighborhood of $7. $7 for a premium. It was like $4. $4 for like a matinee. Um, the original Twister, released in 1996 and starred Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, was also a big hit at the box office with a 41 million 82. No, motherfucker. No, motherfucker. Not 82 million today. Opening weekend, and around 500 million, 1 billion today in total ticket sales. You were lowballing as a bitch. You were lowballing like a motherfucker. So the original Twister was the highest grossing opening weekend, even by your dumbass numbers, by the way. Milk is literally 3 times more a gallon than it was at that time. 82 million today. So Twister wins, the only actual Twister movie there is, and around 500 million, 1 billion in today. So probably like more like 1.3 billion. Who the fuck wrote this? Leo Common, contributor. Oh, he's a contributor of what? Being a douche? Leo Common is a summer intern on the Money in Politics team, covering campaign finance. He is with so he's a political commentator covering campaign finance, and he has literally been reduced to um wow. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I'm going to actually probably edit this video, because in intersparse clips of Twister are, I don't know, maybe I'm not. I don't know, because Universal seems to have controlling stake in WB now. So the original company was WB. Now Universal, NBC Universal, who are the biggest cocksuckers on the planet for copyright claims. Um, yeah. If you're a fan of the original Twister, don't go see this. Don't go see this. I feel like I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm a big Star Trek fan, but I'm not a huge Star Trek fan. I understand where the massive Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who fans are coming from because quite frankly, this was an abomination. And again, I told you, the main character, Kate, just had to believe in herself. Steal a modified Dodge Ram 2500 Cummins turbo diesel for surviving tornadoes and all the gadgets in it to literally anchor themselves to the ground, because you have to. And in the final moments, she saves the day. She saves the day, even though she's hitting a button for the buckets. The physicist basically. I don't want to go into the science. Buckets. She's hitting the button because they're explosive and they're meant to pop. She keeps hitting the button until she hits the panel, and then all of a sudden pop. You see the little levers like, no, it's a it's an electronic charge. It's like the charge of like of an M80. It explodes. The circuit's complete. They all explode, and you don't have to hit the panel. Also, at the same time, too, she survives the F4 tornado that she just drove into, and it quite frankly stopped so short of the movie theater that everybody's cowering, including the men who, quite frankly, were leading, who brought her into this, and she survives an EF4 tornado because the truck just do a semi trailer, that weighs 6 times what this truck, the storm tracing truck, would weigh, would be swept away in an EF4 tornado. But in the midst of it, after releasing everything, it just goes doo 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 doo. Sorry, Jan de Bont had nothing to do with this. Steven Spielberg had nothing to do with this. Jan de Bont helped write, and the National Weather Service actually gave the original Twister movie an accolade and praised them for their accuracy on how they did things. You know why? Because they did it scientifically, and they didn't do it based on DEI bullshit. This movie made me so mad that I can't even see straight. I really can't. I've went on for 19 minutes. I cut my videos somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 to 7 minutes top. This movie sucked. It fucking fuck it. And quite frankly, there's one Twister movie, and this one is not it. Fucking Christ. See you guys. Ugh.